Hey there, happy Thursday. I hope you're doing fantastic and that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you got to eat lots of fabulous food and that you're recovering this week from all the busyness and family, friends, and lots of hustle and bustle. Today's blog is a follow-up blog continuing our series on meal planning. And 2 weeks ago we did a video showing the meal planning template that I use, and this is actually now included as part of my meal planning ebook that I just released last week on Thanksgiving night, so check that out if you haven't seen that yet. But we just talked about basically how to make a meal plan for a week. And that's how often I do it, is a week, because I go shopping once a week. If you only go shopping every 2 weeks or whatever your interval is, you just need to make it for that period of time. And meal planning is literally the number one tool in your arsenal for eating well and eating for optimal nutrition, because without a plan, you're going to eat for whatever is the quickest and the easiest, which usually is convenience foods that are not healthy for you. So having a meal plan is literally crucial if you're going to eat well, and especially if you're going to take care of yourself and do it for the long haul and not just for a 30-day program or a 90-day program or a 40-day program. If you're going to do it for year in and year out, you have to start meal planning. So last video we talked about how to make your first meal plan. And I showed you the basic template that I use, which is just a meal for every single night of the week, and then listing out what that meal is going to be in the accompanying side dishes, and then the different ingredients that I need to buy at the store, and it's all on the same page. And that's what I take with me to the grocery store. And so, like I said, if you want more about that template, you can either look at last week's video or 2 weeks ago video, or check out the new ebook that I have, because I give you a free template in that book, so you don't have to make your own. So, continuing on with this series, I wanted to give you one tip that will really simplify your life and just make things much more peaceful for you in your cooking and meal planning. And that tip is keep it simple. I'm sure you've heard the saying, keep it simple, stupid, before a kiss, and really that will really save your sanity when it comes to eating this way, because basically you have to prepare almost everything from scratch, whether it's snacks, breakfast, lunch, dinner. There's not really microwave options when it comes to eating healthy and eating truly healthy, and especially when it comes to eating the nutrient-dense, organic, completely whole and unprocessed foods that God has given us. There's no 60-second option. So you have to make up for that and compensate for that with really good planning and also keeping it very simple. And honestly, I was forced into this not just because of eating the Maker's diet, but because of having 3 little kids underfoot. And let me just tell you, and I'm sure that all you moms will agree, you do not have the luxury of 2-hour cooking sessions from 4 to 6 o'clock every afternoon like you did before you had kids. And I learned that very quickly. Before we had kids, I would literally spend an hour and a half just on dinner every single night from about 4 to 5:30 before my husband came home from work. What did I make? I don't even remember. Things that were probably way more complicated than I make now. I think I've blocked out of my memory because it feels so long ago after having kids. But since I don't have that kind of concentrated huge blocks of time, that means I don't have time, or I choose not to make time with everything else going on with the kids in the house and the cooking and everything, to do seriously time-consuming dishes like, some things I used to make all the time were like twice baked potatoes and sauces that you have to literally stand in front of the stove and stir constantly for 30 minutes, and reduction sauces and sauces with, you can use sauces with wine that don't have to take a lot of time, but just, you get the idea. Complicated dishes, things that require a lot of time where you're actually present, standing there, managing them, watching them, the fussy meals. And I think that those meals are really nice to have for birthdays, for holidays, even once a week, if you can pull that off with kids. I can barely even do that with the ages that my kids are. But don't make them your mainstay, and don't put on yourself the burden that they have to be the mainstay of your diet. I'm sorry, but you will not find Moroccan stews and, like I said, complicated sauces in my house on a Wednesday night. You're going to find grass-fed beef burgers, steamed veggies, brown rice, things that are very easy to put together, things that are easy to double and use as leftovers, like chili or tacos or, family food. So if that's the season that you're in your life where you have small kids or you have kids of any size really and just a family, people where you're taking care of and you're not just taking care of yourself or even just two of you, which you can even do more if there's just two of you, but maybe there's only two of you and you're working a job. Whatever you're doing, I just want to encourage you today to keep your meals simple. Don't worry if you don't have tons of fussy exotic ingredients. You can save them, like I said, for celebratory times and get everyone to pitch in. Don't feel like you need to do them every single night. And if you really just grab on to that one tip to keep it simple and not put the burden on yourself to make these huge exotic meals every single night of the week, then it will really simplify your life and you'll do what is actually most important. Feeding your family and feeding yourself for optimal health and nutrition because you can sustain it over the long term. Instead of spending 30 days making a brand new meal every single night, it's super time consuming and takes a long time and lots of energy and prep. And then you fall off the bandwagon a month later because it's overwhelming. Keep it simple and be consistent, and you can do it. I hope this tip has helped you, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Have a great day. Bye.